You are no longer a human anymore. And I don't want you to know this, not because it's hidden, but because if you truly remember it, you'd stop suffering. You'd stop buying into fear, into lack, into limitation. You'd stop living like a machine trying to survive. And yeah, you would start living like the conscious being you were designed to be. You're not broken. You've been conditioned. You've been told you're only human, flesh and thoughts, bound by time. But that's not the full story. And today, my friend, I want to share with you what's truly happening to you as you're waking up from this matrix into what science now call divine matrix or organic matrix of life, God's intelligence that has created you into a sovereign, creative, divine being. Many of you are going through an incredible evolution that is changing you in your DNA, something that we've been talking in the previous video. It is changing your mind. It is changing the way you perceive world around you. And it happens not by running away from something or bypassing something. It happens by transcending it. And today I want to give you some incredible information and science and wisdom that will remind you of what is truly happening and will help you to remember more of who you are becoming. Because you're not just becoming something new, you're actually becoming more of who you've been designed to be by the great creator or God. So, as I said, we are not escaping pain. We are dissolving the old identity, and that's where the truth begins. We are not denying the human inside of us. We are transcending it. We are remembering what lives beyond it, the awareness that sees, the light that knows, the stillness that is. I want to give you a guide today, something very ancient that many people who walked before us were talking about. So, my friend, being human is a very sacred thing, right? But it's not the full picture. The suffering we experience as humans is often because we think that's all we are. And maybe some of you may be going through something right now that may think, what else can be more here? And sometimes, we have some troubles in relationships or finances or any other things. And we start to feel a bit stuck or blocked by something. And that's when we actually attach to what we see and what we think that is real. And we miss the bigger picture that we are so much more, right? As I said, the suffering we experience as humans is because we think that's all we are, a body, a mind, a story, a name. But the truth is, consciousness doesn't suffer, it witnesses. When you begin to live from that space of awareness, not identity, you step beyond time, fear, and lack. You begin to operate from rhythm, not reaction. From knowing, not guessing. And this is a very different state to be in. It's a very different energy. And of course, there must be done some work. We must practice awareness. We can't just be aware without practicing to be aware. As much as we've practiced to become very reactive to life, as firstly we've been growing up in an environment where everyone was reactive, so we also became more like it. But then at some point we've started questioning, well, there must be something more than what I know, because what I know obviously is not serving me. And that's when a person starts opening up to something more. People start asking bigger questions, like most probably you did, like, why am I here? Why am I constantly maybe suffering? Why am I in this pain and nothing works? And what I know doesn't help me. So where is the solution? And that's how we start slowly opening up. We start slowly opening our hearts and minds to something new that could help us and free us from the state of suffering, from the state of pain. And we start observing it, because the point of observer awakens inside of us an ability to become more objective, which means we are not reacting to what's happening emotionally, which means we can get into a state of neutrality, which is the most powerful and healing state, because suddenly we are not affected by the world anymore. We're observing it and we start to see patterns. When we start to see patterns, then we naturally come into a position where we know we have a choice. We can choose differently. And that's where comes a power of some higher wisdom that we can call love. So when we know we have a choice, we can choose between choosing out of love or choosing out of fear. And that's where intelligence begins. You know you have a choice and you can choose from love or fear. So I want to take you a bit deeper. When it comes to energy of lack, it means we are forgetting something. And when we are suffering, we are receiving signal from our bodies. Both are symptoms of disconnection from source rhythm, from the source of life. When your internal rhythm, your thoughts, your breath, your emotions move out of balance, you fall into false cycles where you need to put in a lot of effort, a lot of depletion, fear, and control. But when you return to center, the illusion dissolves. There is no need to strive. The light flows to you, through you. You become the conduit, not the controller. And I will explain how this works, because it still sounds very philosophical and it's sometimes hard to actually believe that. Like, how can I just observe and how can I just align with something else and I will just experience better results? But let me explain everything. So firstly, my friend, everything is frequency. Frequency is rhythm. It has some kind of a flow. And frequency exists in different spectrums. You have higher frequency and lower frequency. You have more coherent frequency and less coherent frequency. And we experience it through our body. We know when something is coherent because it feels pleasant, it feels very natural, it feels good. When something is incoherent, it feels unpleasant, it feels like pain, it feels like pressure. And that's how our body always tells us what frequency we are in. So everything is frequency. Your body, your thoughts, your future, your past, it's all frequency. Now science says there's an intelligent field, a matrix, an organic matrix that connects all things. This field responds to emotions, intention, and vibration. In quantum physics, everything exists as both particle and wave. You're not solid, you're a field of vibrating energy. Your thoughts create measurable electromagnetic fields. Your heart generates a frequency up to 5,000 times stronger than your brain. And that frequency interacts with the field around you. When your internal signals are chaotic, fear, lack, self-doubt, your outer reality mirrors that, not because it wants to punish you, but because it's in resonance with you. So when your internal wave is coherent, then, like centered, peaceful, aligned, your reality organizes itself. And I'm sure you've experienced that before, like you had a certain period in your life when everything was chaotic and nothing went your way, until at some point you truly needed to take a break. You went on a vacation maybe, or you talked with someone who helped you to understand things a bit better, or you read a good book, you had a great meditation, and you changed maybe everything in your life. You've started feeling more peace, you've started having more fun, maybe playing more, doing something you love once again, and suddenly everything in your life started aligning, things started improving, you've started receiving maybe more money out of nowhere, or you've started meeting more kind people, and so on and so on. We've all experienced this kind of moments, but the challenge is when we are in pain or when we are in lack or self-doubt, we just don't take time to let go of that energy and to embody something new. Because in that time, we naturally think and believe we need to fight with life. But the truth is, we need to let go of fighting and kinda disconnect from that reaction to life. Which means we need to learn to calm down, and that's why spiritual practices are so powerful many times, because we learn to focus on breathing. We learn to focus on becoming objective when we need to, like I shared with you before. We learn to observe, and when we learn to observe, we learn to see things differently. And then we can choose to respond out of love, like I said before. So when your internal wave is incoherent, life will be incoherent. When your internal wave is coherent, your life will become more coherent and things will start organizing itself. It doesn't mean you will be passive and you will not do anything and things will just change. It means you will get in touch with the rhythm of life, which means that you will naturally experience some kind of inspiration, some kind of pull. As many of us may know, there are two different motivations we experience in life. One is a push motivation, where we push ourselves into doing something. The other one is more spiritual, like when we experience pull towards something, when we're just being pulled to some kind of an act or to some kind of a path. And when we get in rhythm, back in rhythm with life, science calls it the flow state. When we get into flow once again, we experience some kind of a pull. We just feel called to do something. And that's where our lives start to shift. That's when you become very magnetic to solutions, to opportunities, to timelines of peace, of abundance, and of more clarity. And this is not just some wishful thinking, it's what science calls entrainment, a principle where stronger vibrations naturally synchronize weaker ones. So what does it mean? Well, when you send out a strong signal of, let's say, having a vision for life and feeling it emotionally, you in tune yourself with that possible and potential reality. And suddenly fears and worries and doubts start dissolving because you're not feeding them anymore. You're now feeding something else. And because seeing that and feeling that gives you already some kind of a feeling that is more powerful than fear or worry or separation, you create a stronger signal than the previous one was. That's when your consciousness becomes a very strong signal. And the unified field responds to it. You're not asking the universe to change, you're changing your own signal, and the universe can't help but match it. So, before I talked about light, I talked you are becoming conscious being, light being. And what light truly is, it's awareness. It's literally the language of your biology. Every cell in your body emits photons, tiny packets of light. Your DNA absorbs and transmits the light in pulses that communicate both within your body and potentially beyond it. This is called biophoton emission, and it's been verified by quantum biologists and researchers like Fritz Albert Popp. In more simplified language, you're not just surrounded by light, you are light, transmitting intelligence, alignment, and memory across your energy field. You are light, my friend, moving in wave form. When your wave is distorted, you suffer. When it is harmonized, you create. The harmony doesn't come from effort, it comes from alignment with the field, the universal intelligence behind all form. And this mind is not outside of you. It is you. It is what we call the true self, or the I am. And that's why it can be so powerful when at times you feel lost. Ask yourself for a solution. Ask yourself for guidance. Ask yourself for healing. And then be aware what kind of changes may happen in your life, what kind of synchronicities may appear in your life. Not just some numbers or this kind of simple science, but see when the right information finds you, or when the spontaneous thought come to you that says, hey, change your diet or start working out or something like that. Because, guidance is very subtle. You need to learn to calm your analytical mind to hear it. And when you expect it, it will often not speak to you, because you expect it in the same way you expect your analytical mind to constantly give you something or distract you from something. But actually, when you calm down, when you focus on breathing, and I will explain later the process, how you can get more in touch with it, you will notice that it's always there. It's always there guiding you. It's always there speaking to you. And more you align with it, more you become it. That's when you become more light and less just the body. And that's when you are born into a new you. You're born in Christ, right? Because suddenly you rise from who you were before. And the ashes of the old life give birth to wisdom and intelligence of a new life. So you literally experience the rebirth. When you think from this space, you think as a being of light, not a human trying to survive. So most people assume that the highest frequency then in this sense is some kind of ecstasy or joy. But the most powerful healing frequency is neutrality. Why? Because neutrality holds no resistance. It's not about apathy, it's about non-attachment. It's stillness in motion. This state, sometimes called 0 point or scalar neutrality, is what brings your body and field back into balance. It's the space where healing happens, where manifestations stabilize, where clarity returns, because in neutrality, your wave is undisturbed, and an undisturbed wave transmits pure light, and light is intelligence in motion. So if we make it practical right now, the next time you find yourself in a situation where you automatically start reacting to something in your life, a person, a situation, circumstances, whatever it is, for a moment just distract yourself from reacting, catch yourself, okay, I'm doing it again, and notice how is your energy. Like, notice how chaotic you feel. There's a pressure in your body, you're maybe contracting certain muscles in your body, and just return back to breathing. Calm your body down, tell yourself you're safe, you will be okay, or whatever words reassure to you that you can do it differently. And then focus on some slow deep breathing and ask yourself how the highest version of yourself would respond to it, or place your hands over your heart and ask yourself if there's some guidance from your heart, or how love would respond to it. Develop your own practice that will work for you. Some people like to ask their heart, some people like to ask God, or some people just ask themselves what love would do in this situation. You need to notice what language will trigger this kind of inspiring pull that comes from within, from this intelligence that will immediately put you into a state of peace from which you can respond to situations differently. And at the same time, you will notice how everything around you will shift, Because when you don't react to an angry person out of anger, but rather out of peace or out of understanding, immediately they change as well, because you break the cycle of their energy. You will notice that immediately it will change. And it's same with anything else. There's a pattern that is driving some kind of angry behavior, and when you break it and actually start a new one that's more peaceful or comes from compassion or understanding, you will notice that everything in your life will slowly start redirecting and reorganizing. So I want to bring all of this, what we've talked today, together. You're not just a human reacting to life. You're a light-based intelligence broadcasting a unique frequency into the field. When that frequency is disturbed by fear, overthinking, or emotional chaos, your reality reflects that disharmony. But when you shift to coherence, especially through breath, presence, neutrality, and heart-based intention, your signal becomes clear, and in a responsive universe, clarity attracts clarity. The same as peace attracts peace. Gratitude attracts more things to be grateful for, and feeling abundant attracts more abundance, or more things that will make you feel abundant. Light attracts light. Kindness attracts kindness. And your highest timeline begins to unfold when you learn to firstly neutralize yourself instead of reacting to life, and then step into a vision. Start focusing more on the things you want to see. Start noticing where you feel pulled instead of where other things are pulling you. You see, you always have these two choices. You can react to what is happening outside of you, or you can go within, neutralize yourself, get into peace and harmony with yourself and with life, and notice where life pulls you and then respond to that pull. Those are two very important choices. We need to recognize which one we truly want to make. Is this reaction to life that happens very automatically and usually unconsciously, or is this a conscious response to a pull of life that is some form of intelligence, or maybe the future you that guides you to where you truly want to go? That's where you actually feel called to step into your highest timeline, because it's beyond suffering, it's beyond separation, pain, fear, worry, and all of that. And then results don't happen as rewards for that work. They happen as reflection of who you have become. So let me share with you a quick guide how you can accomplish that. Well, the first thing you need to learn is the art of slowing down, the art of stillness. To find a moment in the day when you do nothing, no input, no fixing, just presence. Let awareness become the subject, not the problem. It happens when we sit down. We maybe play some beautiful music in our ears, we close our eyes, we stop using our five senses to experience life, and we focus on breathing. We can do this work with what we call box breathing, which is breathing where you can use same time for breathing in, and you stay at the top for the same time, you breathe out for the same time, and you stay at the bottom for the same time. Like usually people do it 4 seconds in, 4 seconds at the top, 4 seconds out, 4 seconds at the bottom, and then you slowly maybe extend it to 5 to 6, maybe to 7 seconds. More you slow down your breathing, more your nervous system and your body and your brain will slow down, and your frequency in the brain will go from beta brainwave frequency into alpha and later into theta brainwave frequency, where you will become very, very neutral. You will not be reacting to life anymore. You will become just aware that life is happening. Then the second thing you can do is energetic truth tuning, where you ask yourself, is this thought in alignment with my eternal self? So you will notice thoughts are still present in your mind, but you can ask yourself, are they aligned with you? Do you still want to think these thoughts? You will actually become aware of the programs that have been running unconsciously. And if they are not in alignment with the eternal self or the real you can let them go. You can imagine them as clouds that you just let them leave you. Do not argue with illusion. And then the third thing is light reconnection. So this is something that people can do in many different ways. Some people like to imagine light. Some people like to just feel some kind of a higher energy. And you can imagine it as a time when you inhale after you've let go of the thoughts. You inhale and you can say to yourself, I align with the intelligence of life or light. And feel it, how it is filling up your body until you become more of this light or life and less of what you felt before. And as you exhale, you can say to yourself, I release the illusion of separation, or I let go of anything that doesn't serve me at this point. Let this become your nervous system's default. You will feel something deep and you will know that you've changed your energy. You will just know it, you will feel it. And if you create this as a daily practice for 10, 20 minutes or maybe 1 hour, however you prefer, see what works for you. For me, I've noticed that longer meditations just have greater effect. And if I do longer meditations, I see faster results in my life in terms of manifestation and alignments. But it depends how your analytical mind is active, how much your nervous system was addicted to reacting to life. Because once you heal that, you will notice that yes, your life will reflect the healing that you've accomplished inside of you. So close your eyes, my friend. Feel your body from the inside out. And maybe say some words to you like, I'm not this thought. I'm not this fear. I'm the one who says, I am life, resting as form. Maybe visualize light entering from above into your crown, through your spine, into your heart. And now say, I return to rhythm. I remember who I am. I'm not just human. I am eternal intelligence, experiencing itself as form. And sit in this space for some time. So the whole purpose here with everything we've talked today about is that we stop fighting with life. We notice that where we are is a training for us to become less reactive and wiser. To notice that no one is really fighting with us. You may say, yeah, I'm surrounded with these people who don't believe this stuff. No one needs to believe this stuff. It's not about belief anyway. It's about noticing that beneath reacting, there's a source of wisdom that can help you to respond to life and to the world around you from greater intelligence. Which means that you don't need to project your beliefs or thoughts or ideas into anyone. You can just demonstrate what it means to be a new human. A being that is more in peace, more loving, more compassionate. Not because your environment is saying that you should be, because you are growing beyond what used to be. And this is a practice. You can't just become it without practicing it, right? As you became who you are today because you've practiced becoming it consciously or unconsciously. You will only become something more, something new, if you will practice it. And my invitation today is for you to practice the connection with life. And every time you fall back into reacting and judging and gossiping and comparing and saying, oh, it's not here yet, it didn't happen, so most probably this doesn't work, if just falling back into the old program, return back to the observer, to the awareness. And yes, your analytical brain may not understand it fully, but when you get into a state of peace, of what I said before, neutrality, it will just naturally click and you will know it. Knowledge here is very powerful tool, because sometimes we don't believe these things because we haven't acknowledged maybe the science behind it, or we haven't read any story of success of other people that have accomplished that, or some autobiographies from people who've learned to master it. But when we get some of this knowledge, we recognize, oh, it's not something new, it's something ancient that people knew, but this matrix system has, well, kind of taken this knowledge out and left only what they wanted you to know. So you would stay in separation, in fear, in panic, in worry and pain and suffering. And as I said, what I'm offering today to you is an invitation to become an observer of all of that, so we can slowly detach from incoherent energy and embody more of the coherent energy that will just naturally pull you into a life of incredible miracles for you. So, my friend, whatever you're going through at this point, know that you're not alone, that you are part of a rhythm, and it holds you, and it wants from you to notice it, because it only exists when you notice it. If you don't notice it, it doesn't exist for you. But when you become aware of it, it will start speaking to you. So, my friend, you are no longer only human. You are conscious and consciousness. And no, consciousness never suffers. It only sees. So walk in it and you will see life differently. Well, I hope this message can resonate today with you, can bring you some clarity and some maybe direction that will make your life lighter and more peaceful. If you've resonated with today's message, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you've enjoyed in today's painting as well, as many of you know, I'm an artist. And if you're new here, I'm an artist that is sharing this kind of meaningful messages together with my art. I'm painting like symbols that can remind us of these messages. So, well, you can buy prints of my art or original paintings, put them somewhere where you can see them, and then painting can remind you of what we've been talking about, to stay in that aligned state all day long, because that's when miracles start happening, right? Don't be afraid of falling off this. Just remember it's a practice, returning back, and keep practicing it until you master it. This is it for today. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings and power. Big thanks to all of you for choosing to support my art in our store, AttractPassion.com. The link is in the description of this video. Also join us on our Patreon for more exclusive content. See you there as well. Until next time, one love.